Yeah. And so, you know, they were really on your trail. They made no bones about it. They were secretive and manipulative. There's one guy, uh, Cy Levitan, I remember. Uh, he's probably still practicing in L.A. Pleasant guy.
I've heard that name.
Pleasant guy. Very, very suspicious molds of psychiatric practice. I mean, he was really looking for chinks and crevices in your psychological armor. And one of his little ruses, you know, that one person would tell the next about, watch out for that chair, it collapses, you know, when you go in for your interview. Well, he didn't pull a collapsing chair on me, but he tried some head-on questioning, and I remember simply turning the questions back to him, suggesting that there was a certain kind of nervous energy or uptightness about his whole brand of interviewing that made, well, there certainly were no clients in those days, that made a patient very ill at ease in turn. And so rather than feel ill at ease under his grilling eye, I turned it into my own questioning of him. And I suggested, I had the cheek to suggest that it was perhaps the possibility that he feared rejection. And I think I hit the nail right on the head, because he became, to my mind's eye, volubly friendlier towards me. I mean, nothing out. I mean, you know, just I say volubly, you know, very mildly in the social context. But well, he was one of the ones that came all the way to San Juan, to Puerto Rico with us. He was there right through the end of the program, and he left a day before we were all to leave for Colombia, and he gave me the keys to his hotel room as he was leaving, saying, "Here, you might have some use for these." He didn't elaborate. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with them. I was striking out right and left. I don't know what the hell was the matter with them women. I don't know.
With the women in the program?
Yeah, no, I exaggerate. They were nice, but they came from, as I say, they all checked out for the feds, you know, before they were accepted. So naturally, they were
clean-cut all-American girls.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. Nice people too. I got to say that there were a nice bunch of people in this group of about 65 or so that were in my training program.
So you don't know that Julie wasn't in your training program?
There is a Julie who was, but
Julie Stone.
I don't know. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. I would remember, I'm pretty sure. I would remember her name. Unless that's a married name, is it?
No. No, father's a professor over here at MIT. Which is why she checked out.
Yeah. Well, does she go back to the mid-60s also? Huh. And she was in Colombia? Huh.
Now wait. I could be wrong about Colombia. She could have been in Peru or something.
Yeah, that would make some small difference.
Well,
we weren't. There wasn't that much country hopping in those days.
No.
Colombia was so replete with diverse climates and ways of life that really you could really have a fulfilling round of vacations going to different places in the country.
Yeah. I
hit the coast and, you know, the Caribbean and the Leticia.
And you were there for 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
And you started writing there, which is what this all comes to.
Well, I started writing, as I said, well before that, but that was an ongoing activity for me.
Now, you started writing because you were working for newspapers.
Yeah, but
you didn't evince, and what you said earlier was,
I had my own.
Not a combative interview here, by the way.
I know.
But what you stated earlier.
Was I starting to look combative? I didn't.
No, I was starting to act that way though. So, the question then is, did you, not for technical writing or journalistic writing, but for interpretive writing.
There were parallels in my journalistic engagement and you know, quote unquote creative writing.
So you were creatively writing
while I was
before.
while I was a newspaper person, my hobby, my aside was, I mean, I didn't keep any kind of rigorous schedule of it, but there were no long periods where I wasn't doing some writing to my own appeasement.
Okay,
as well.
well, what this comes from is you said earlier that you didn't start writing as a, I'm now going to be this artistic writer over here.
Yeah.
Aside, push the journalism aside entirely.
Uh-huh.
See, to become this,
Yeah.
that
That
heavy
became-
writer or whatever.
That became so in the course of
While you were in Columbia.
while I was in Columbia. That's right. That's correct. Yeah.
So now, do you remember? Now is the time to read.
Well, I'll tell you, I even had potential freelance assignments for the Patriot Ledger. I could have sent back stories from Columbia,
Yeah.
and that just wasn't.
And you didn't do that.
That just wasn't, and I could have used the money sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't the nature of my being there. It really wasn't. I was there much more in an absorptive capacity and towards my own growth
Uh-huh.
than in any kind of
And in this
career-making capacity.
Okay. In this, you then started writing to reflect your growth.
Yeah.
Or
Well, to reflect, I didn't put it in such words, of course.
No, I just did. You didn't say that. I did.
You did.
But
He said it,
to
not me.
to
Yeah.
this type of what did you write in Columbia?
I wrote.
You keep a diary?
Well, I have a couple of smatterings of journal left. As a matter of fact, most of the stuff that I did write in Columbia got lost.
Most of it got lost.
Most of it got lost, and I didn't have it towards admission to the MFA, the Master of Fine Arts Writers Workshop out in Amherst. I didn't have much stuff to show. I had to whip off a few poems of recency just